Hey guys, Nick from Milburn here. Nick from Milburn here, and you're on another edition of Hall, Hoops, and Happening. And I am joined by Frankie A. Frank, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing
Um,
good. And Paul Justifan LaMonica. Paul, how are you, sir?
Good to see you, Nick. Hey, Frank. Good afternoon.
Hi, Paul.
So guys, we spent like July and August and even June and September, talking about getting to this point. And now like it's crazy. And it's crazy in a positive way. Um the men, if anyone is unaware, if you're a Seton Hall fan, you should be aware. But the men yesterday won at Kansas State, which was Ken Palm had us losing by one. We went down there and we kind of dominated, Kansas State from start to finish. It was a very raucous crowd, which it should be. And they weren't raucous at the end. And they actually left a little bit early. And their best player, we totally shut them down. And yeah, they're Christina, they're back. We are back. And the word I'm using is we are relevant because we, at the end of last year, with everyone going into the NIL and everything, were we ever going to be relevant again? And now it's a good thing, that we are relevant. And it's making it fun again because last year, like I said yesterday, it wasn't too much fun. It wasn't fun at all. So let's just start, guys. Quick thought of just a recap of the men's game yesterday, and then we'll talk about the women's game. Paul, I don't know your thoughts on yesterday. Are you still on cloud nine about it?
Well, I'm very excited. I'm. The more I think about the game, the more I realize that it wasn't a close game. The in the second half, I think Kansas State got as close as 8, and at some point it was 17. I think it finished at what 11 or 12. But we just went down there and beat them. We went into their building, a Big 12 team that was considered to be in the mid on the bubble, and we didn't do anything extraordinary. We just went out and beat them. Now, Kansas State didn't play well. They missed 25 foul shots. They didn't shoot well from three. A lot of that, of course, was the defense that Seton Hall played. But we're seeing us develop a style of play now. And I'm starting to see patterns that I expect to see. I expect to see 6 or 8 points on steals all of a sudden followed by a fast break. And we are fast breaking off steals as well as I've ever seen any team do, even forecourt steals. Um, we can go inside to Hines. Payne is a very strong inside presence when you get the ball to him. Overall, I liked yesterday. I think I liked yesterday best out of all the games that they played because it looked like for the first time they expected to win. They weren't rattled when Kansas State came back, and that they are playing with that level of confidence is, I think, very surprising given what all the expectation was and all the negative things I'm sure they heard when the season started.
Paul, let me ask you this. You talk about the team coming together, but what I'm noticing is there's a pretty cool rotation now, right? Like Fisher's a power forward, and then Dar's gonna come in for Fisher for a few minutes, and Payne starts at center, and Hines is gonna come in for Payne. And it's not like that 5-on-5 hockey line substitution anymore. I kind of like it. And you have Clark at the point guard, but yet Parker's coming in off the bench, and Parker played well and gave us some really, really productive minutes. So we really have a solid backup at like every position. I would say our sixth man off the bench is Simpkins. He's like our offensive guy. I think AJ St. McCray is starting to be like our breakout scorer. And yeah, and again, the defense is just like someone sent me a video, I haven't seen it yet, about Houston's defense and like the way you swarm. And that's kind of like us. Frank, what do you think about the game yesterday?
Well, I mean, I could echo Paul's sentiments. I mean, he nailed it right on the head. He went in pretty detailed, and I felt the same way. Yesterday, we briefly discussed, the refereeing, how it was human nature. And what I meant by that was human nature to give the team that's well behind the benefit of the doubt on some close calls. And even though they were getting the benefit of the doubt, um, we were still able to keep them at arm's length. So that's why I was, I was pleased with the way we were able to handle the adversity when the whistle started going in their favor for a while. We could have got rattled, but we didn't, and especially with that big crowd. Who you never know how they're going to react to that. That's the first time we had anything like that with this group. Usually, you don't see anything like that until the Big East season, unless nowadays you do get home and home games like that nowadays. But thinking back to say the 80s or so, remember we wouldn't have any true road games. It was always like the Big Apple NIT or the Great Alaskan Shootout, some of those, and then you'd have those what they call nowadays the bye games. So you never really had true road games in a hostile environment. Maybe a Fordham, something like that once in a while, but it's not like that was a real crazy raucous crowd. I remember going to a game at Fordham on a Friday night, and it was on the Rose Hill gym was only half full. But my point is, nowadays, you go into like a Big 12 school, or say if you went into an SEC or Big 10 school, those are really challenging games to play at this time of year. It's just like a couple weeks from now going into your first true road game at a Big East arena, except for DePaul. I mean, DePaul, you're not going to have the atmosphere, but almost
or Georgetown, even, believe it or not.
I'm sorry?
At Georgetown, I watched it the other night, and it looked like a mausoleum. There was nobody at the Georgetown game. People complaining about our student section. It's like, oh my God.
It's been pretty similar with what's been going on down there as what happened with us last year. Although when they did have some big games, they didn't have too bad of a season last year. It wasn't like they were the previous years. They sort of had like a coming out party last year where they were semi-relevant, and they did have a few really good crowds. And I'm thinking that when we go down there, there'll be a decent crowd. Maybe not 15, 20 to 17,000 or anything like that, but a solid 9 or 10,000, which will be tough to play against.
And I know you talk about getting rattled, and I'm just going to throw this at you for a second, and Paul too. And we have JD Walker in agreement. We're going to bring on JD in a second. But if anything, they got rattled, right? Like Kansas State got rattled. Their their coach is running on the court like a lunatic, right? Like again, I've never seen that before to that degree at any level. And then they're fighting like the coach and that, come on, like be discreet about it a little bit. It was, yeah. I haven't gone on any Kansas message board or anything like that to see what they were talking about, but yeah, that was pretty ugly. Paul, what do you think? Do you ever see anything like that, like with a team just imploding like that?
It's happened. I can't really remember the last time, but I remember Jimmy Boeheim in one of his first games when Syracuse joined the ACC was at Cameron Indoor Stadium. They called a charge on one of his guys, and he absolutely lost his mind. And I believe he got teed up and thrown out. But I've never seen the players involved the way they were involved yesterday.
Yeah, where a coach and a player are literally going at it. Like maybe maybe Bill Parcells sometimes, but no one would answer him back. But yeah,
in the pros perhaps. But Nick, I also wanted to echo your point. Seton Hall has played 10 games this year. They have had 6 different players be the leading scorer in that game for them. And that just speaks to how well the rotation is working, how well every different guy is stepping up. But Hines has been the leading scorer once. Simpkins has done it a couple of times. Stanton McRae's sign of emerging as the leading scorer overall. But that doesn't mean that Fisher isn't going to lead or Clark isn't going to lead, depending on how the game goes. And I think that makes Seton Hall very difficult to defend. One of the things that when I was watching Duke Michigan State, the announcer mentioned that Tom Izzo will take away your best player. Who do you take away on Seton Hall? I mean, who do you say? Well, if this guy doesn't score, we'll win. I mean, I would imagine I'd be putting most of my pressure on Clark because I think he's the engine. But you stop AJ St. McCrae doesn't mean Simpkins isn't going to score 23 or Williams isn't going to score. Williams has been the leading scorer in one of these games. So
Yeah.
I think that the balance, the ability to have more than one guy contribute makes them very difficult to scheme if you're an opposing coach.
I would at the beginning of the year say you almost have to zone us, but then I don't know if that's going to work either because we have a good ability now to get the ball inside.
Yes.
And if you collapse too much inside, the Stanton, McCray, Williams, Simpkins, even Fisher, they can hit threes. The only one that can't, I mean, not to be mean, but Clark hasn't hit threes in a month, hit a three in a month. And I mean, that he's not a 3-point shooter.
Yeah, and that's fine. I think that these guys are much better 3-point shooters in rhythm when they have a little bit of an open look. So, if you zone us, I think you're going to see a lot more threes falling than if you're playing straight man because, Clark will penetrate, they'll triple team him, and they'll flip it out to an open Williams or an open State McCray who'll step into the three and nail it.
Guys, I'm going to bring on from over at Rivals, and again, I say this all the time, we're one Seton Hall community. We all work together. We all have the same goals. A gentleman who, in my opinion, has cleaned up the Rivals page, and I know some people get mad that I say that, but I think it's true. I'm a member of Rivals, and I hadn't been for a while. JD Walker. JD, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course. JD, what do you think about the season so far? Like, what were your expectations? Have we exceeded them? Is this a mirage? What are your thoughts?
Going into the season, I would have been happy with a 500 overall record and probably about 6 or 7 wins in the Big East. Something respectable coming off of the disaster that was last season. So far, 9-1, and with some big wins under our belt, especially this Kansas State win. From the beginning of the season, that was the one that most of us, myself included, said, yeah, no chance here on a true road game in a Big 12 environment. That we'll chalk this up as a loss. But then to completely shut them down the way that they did. PJ Haggerty's a leading scorer in the country, and he did nothing all day. Abdi Bashir, who torched us last year, it kept him in check. And just it's been if it is a mirage, don't give me water. I want to keep this going. But I'm still out in the desert, I guess. But we'll see when Big East starts. Rutgers is now the ultimate trap game. They have to keep focused for this. And I know that these guys, and I really hope that they understand the rivalry and that rivalry games get weird. They get weird every year. So, as Jerry Carino writes the same article every year. Love you, Jerry. Love you, Jerry. But I know I respect you work smarter, not harder with some of the copy paste. But it's, this has been fantastic so far. Can they keep it up for the whole season? I'm not sure. I mean, even the Willard teams, we had the January swoon every year. Are we going to have a stretch like that? We don't know. But from what we've seen so far, it seems like they're getting better every game.
JD, this team, when you look at it, this is a Shaw team, right? In his image, right? Almost playing 8 guys. We're pressing the entire game. We have depth. This kind of seems like the team that he's wanted all along. And any thoughts on that?
This is definitely a team in Shaw's image. From Shaw, when he was a player, he played like this. Like that was around the time. Like I only started picking them up I became a Seton Hall fan during that season and during the Sweet 16 run. So I didn't watch the entirety of Shaw's career, but this is how he played. He was just, 100% all the time and This team was put together in his image. They've had chemistry. One of the things I heard all summer was this team has very good chemistry. They all like being around each other, and that's important. And that's important, especially after some stuff came out after last season about how much last year was the complete opposite of
Right.
that, and with players that were the complete opposite of that. So Shaw had it right when at Big East Media Day, when he was asked about the being picked last, he said nobody else has seen our teams yet. Granted, I think that in the modern world of college basketball, the entire business of preseason predictions is an absolute joke, even more so than it was to begin with, because nobody's seen anybody's team play, and nobody has the same players as they did last year.
Right.
So none of it matters.
Absolutely.
What matters is what we're seeing on the court so far, and this has been nothing short of amazing so far.
Paul, do you have a question for JD?
No, I just wanted to agree. It makes me crazy that ESPN is doing bracketology when no one knows anything. And what makes me even crazier is that these opinions ultimately get reinforced. I've been watching St. John's. They're not very good. They're not very good. If they had Seton Hall's reputation, nobody would be talking about them as a potential tournament team. But they've
lost every big game they've played so far.
Somebody decided in September that they're a 2 seed, and no one's allowing the facts to interfere with their opinions. And I think it's very bad for a school like us that comes in with no expectations to try to change all of that. Sometimes I really wish that they would stop this preseason evaluation and wait until they have, like, I don't know, what's it called, data, and maybe they should have some of that before they start drawing conclusions.
At least they don't release the net until a month into the season. And that's, at least they started, so they don't start with that right away, because none of the numbers make sense. Mm-hmm. But even KenPom is all over the place.
Well, we jumped up in KenPom, right, JD? I think to like 55 now?
30s.
They're in the 50s, I believe. I don't know the exact number. I believe they're 38 in the net.
Oh, yeah.
I saw today. I personally believe the net is the number that matters.
Right.
As much as our friend Tony Bozzella likes to talk about the flaws of it, and it is a flawed metric, and it sort of self-reinforces. Just from what we've seen so far, the metrics are backing up that the Pirates are legit. Mm-hmm. It was a valid criticism the first 5 games when we hadn't played each other yet, but those first 5 games did what they were supposed to do, which was prepare this team for stiffer competition, and they've passed with flying colors. If not for some, we're probably looking at a top 25 team if not for some brutal officiating in that USC game.
Yeah, and I think we're getting better, right? When you go back and look at the Wagner game, from that to now, definite improvements, and I think Shaw's getting more comfortable with the rotation. Frank, do you have anything for JD?
Well, no, I mean, yeah, you hit the nail on the head with a lot of things, just like Paul did before. And one of the things that we were talking about before, I mean, when we do have a bunch of different scorers, and Paul brought this up right before you came on, JD, and I'm wondering if you feel the same way. I mean, it was so much easier for coaches to coach against us last year. It was pretty much just shut down Coleman, and there even a few years even before that. I mean, well, the years before, you would Dre Davis you would have to shut down, and then you'd have to worry about Kadari, but they would just try to force him to take outside shots. This year, we could throw so much more at these other teams, and it's a little complex for head coaches on the other end to deal with compared to last year. Do you agree?
Yeah, there's actual ball movement, which that's something that even during the Willard years we didn't have as much as we've had now. You just had the weave, and that was about it.
Right.
But you're seeing ball movement, you're seeing cuts, you're seeing defense, which I saw a fantastic video that compare on Houston's
Yes,
defense.
yes, that's the one I was talking about. Right. Yes.
And it was our friend at Rivals, Colin Rajala, who's one of our writers, posted that in on the board the other day, and I watched it and said, yeah, this really is what Shaw's trying to do, and it's working so far. Will it work against everybody? We don't know yet. Will it work against UConn? Heck, even last year's team beat UConn. We don't know. And the Big East, the main thing that concerns me is something that isn't really in Seton Hall's control, and that's the fact that the Big East looks way down this year so far.
Yeah.
The Big East is not doing well as a whole in these out of conference matchups, and that will be held against anybody on the bubble in the Big East come tournament time. Mike is right. Michael is right that our players aren't selfish at all. Like, it could be anybody they go. Even Hines and Simpkins coming off the bench regularly hit double digits. There's 5-6 players in double digits every game. It isn't one player scoring 25 like an Isaiah Coleman, and everybody else has 8 points. It could be anybody on any given night.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that does concern me a little bit is the foul trouble for Payne and Hines.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that in the Big East games aren't officiated as tight, so hopefully that they can adjust. But especially without having Sumnick and Godswill for an indeterminate amount of time.
Have you heard anything about Godswill, JD?
I've heard the word red shirt has been brought up as a possibility.
Oh, really?
Wow.
I don't know how, he's resistant to it, but if it's Liz Frank injuries are hard, so I don't know if this is something that's, I think that both of these guys are busting their butts to come back.
What about Sumnick? What's his injury, and what do you hear?
Nothing. I've heard he has his shoulder injury.
And no timetable on him?
No timetable on Sumnick. Shaw's very tight-lipped about injuries. I stumbled on the red shirt thing, but I don't even know. I don't think that they'll be. I think that they're busting their butts to come back as soon as they can, and if they're healthy, we'll see them soon.
Because I think for the Big East, and you made a really good point, even though, the refs might not be calling it as tight, it is physical, and you are going to get worn down, and we could use another big body in there. And that's the one thing. Our backup to Fisher's an undersized 4, and the backup is Dar. So we could definitely, I would say that's the one thing. We're solid at point, we're solid at the wings, but we could use another big body. You agree?
Yeah, and Rivera's trying, but Rivera is also undersized. So
yes.
Rivera, he's 10th in a rotation of 10 right now, and he played pretty well the other night, giving 10 minutes and giving, I believe, about 10 minutes in the game.
Yeah, I think that was the best he played, and maybe we'll get more, but I think that might be the high end of what we can expect.
That's probably about the high end of what we should realistically expect from Rivera, especially if he's playing as a 4 in the Big East. That's going to playing as an undersized 4 is going to be very tough.
Guys, I have a question about that. I mean, I think he does give us some valuable minutes when he's in. He doesn't seem to have a great touch around the rim, mostly because he's undersized and his shot is being altered. But I wanted to ask you guys, I don't know if you noticed, and I think it was him. Did he just come right into the game yesterday and fire up a 3 from straight away? I think that was him. And, it didn't look like too bad of a shot, but are we going to expect to see that every once in a while for him, wasting 3s?
I didn't catch that.
And I'd be very surprised. I don't think he's thrown up more than I think he's thrown up less than one a game in his career.
I think Paul's. I think that Frank's right though. I think he did. He has taken a three. The guy that can hit a three a little bit though, who plays the four, is Dar, and Paul called that early on in the summer. Dar's a pretty good 3-point shooter. I don't know if we're going to use him as that so much, but he has some range.
It wasn't until he didn't hit a single three all season until he hit two in the Central Connecticut game.
Right. Yeah, and then he showed it.
Can he do that on a regular basis? I don't know, but even if he gets one here and there, just to there's no lights out 3-point. There's no one lights out 3-point shooter on this team, but we're getting enough contribution from Staten McRae, from Williams,
Simpkins,
where it all adds up to something resembling a decent 3-point shooting team, but there needs to be a bit more consistency. There's some teams every year it seems like Creighton has somebody just lighting it up from three against us. We need to have the firepower to match that.
Right. And I've been using
we have been lacking, and we don't have, and we hadn't had it for a while. Maybe going to throw a name at you like John Leahy, like a guy coming in off the bench who could fire up threes. That just might not be a great basketball player, but he's a great shooter. Other teams have that, and you said Creighton, and that's a great example. We don't have ever seemed to have that. We had Dalton Sofer, but that didn't pan out under Willard. I would love for just once for them to say, okay, he might not be a great athlete, he might not be a great basketball player, but he could shoot. And let's just let him go in there and hit some threes. Do you guys remember anybody else that I'm missing that was just that? Remus was but Remus started, but just someone coming off the bench who was a 3-point shooting specialist.
J.R. Morris had a little bit of that.
Yeah, he did.
He was sort of a starter, though. He was usually a starter, right?
Right, but I'm thinking specifically of the Euphoria where he came off the bench.
Right. Okay.
He came off the bench and he would hit a few threes and chip in that way. That was before he started the following year.
Right. Okay.
But aside from that,
right, it's amazing.
Oh,
that we don't
what about Nick? What about Nick Katsoukas?
Okay, he was during the Final Four run. He's another one.
Yeah, he would just come in right before halftime.
But that was really before a 3-point line, right?
No, there was three.
There was a 3-point line then. Yeah. Just when, okay. But we haven't had a plethora of 3-point shooters at all.
No.
I think that one of the keys is that we have to be judicious. We all talk about how many we want to make, but we got to be careful about how many that we miss. You realize that Kansas State missed 24 threes yesterday. 24 times they came up down the floor, threw up a 20-footer and missed. I think we've got to be a little bit careful on how many we take. And I think that if we take only the best ones, that might help the shooting percentage as well. You don't want to get into that habit where you're throwing one up with nobody under the basket. And, they're going to take bad shots. I hope they take as few bad threes as possible.
Simpkins could become that player for the Pirates
I think
this year.
He kind of is instant offense off the bench, right? He's the closest thing that we have.
He's a microwave player.
Yeah. JD, before I let you go, what's going on your site? What's the vibe? Is it positive or is it encouraging? Is it are people saying, I don't know, but maybe this is just something, but the shoe's going to drop. What do you think?
The vibe has been positive overall. There are some people who think that, there might be, let's not get too ahead of ourselves yet. There's some people are slower to come around than others, not necessarily in a bad way. Just, we've been burned before.
Right.
And I've been more and more buying in every game.
Yeah, it's hard not to, right?
Yeah, watching this, it's exciting watching this team.
It's fun, and we're like relevant again, right? Like last year we weren't relevant for the first time in a very long time. Like a lot of people, like we kid about Nicole Gizzi, and I know you told me, be kind with Nicole, and we love Nicole. Nicole's great. I don't know if she's probably watching. She's down in Bogota right now. It's her favorite slot machine or something. But yeah, but Nicole was spoiled. Nicole never saw a losing season. So yes, last year it was like, oh my God, this is like, but we've all seen this because we've been around a while. So it happens. But the fact that we bounce back so quickly, or fingers crossed we're bouncing, that's really cool.
That's the thing about this new era, is the fact that you can get, if you need to go get a whole new team to wash the stink off from last season, you can go in with the portal. You can do that. It works both ways. There's positives and negatives to it, but so far the chemistry, you can see this is a team that plays together. They play hard, and it's exciting to watch.
Now, I don't know, and I'll let you go after this. I have no idea, and you hear numbers, $6 million, whatever our NIL or revenue sharing budget was. The fact is that Shaw, whatever it was, put together a pretty good squad. Right. And if you look at the rankings, I think the highest ranked player, I think might have been Clark at around 200 or something. What are your thoughts on that, on the way that he constructed this team with the budget that he may or may not have had?
Clearly it's working. And the first player he went out and got was Bud Clark.
Right.
And the two had it, and the way, and with Hines, with the way that with the money, some of the money coming in late, therefore we had the money to go get Hines, that really, and the two-headed center that we have as a result of that has worked out great.
Right. Was Payne recruited to come here as a 4 or 5? That's the question that I've had. Is he playing 5 because God's will isn't giving us anything? Is he a 4 naturally?
I've heard both. I've heard some say he's a natural 4, some say he's a natural 5, but he looks more like he plays more like a natural 5.
Yeah, he is, right? And he runs the court really well for a big guy.
The only way that you could play him at the 4 is if you have a 5 who's like more like a stretch 4.
Right.
Type of player and has offense, and Seton Hall currently does not have that type of player. So by default, he plays the 5. That's probably where the is he a 4, is he a 5 comes in. In this offense, and this team is currently constructed, he's a 5 and only a 5.
Right. Good. Well, JD, plug your site while you're here.
All right, you can come check us out at. It's kind of a long site. I have it on the screen here, on3.com/boards/categories/Seton-Hall.333. That brings you up to the where you pick the Pirate Hoops Chat, our free board, and the Treasure Trove, which is our premium site, where there's more in-depth game coverage and photo and exclusive photos and writing and more candid discussion.
And I was a member for many years, and for whatever reason, I stopped being a member. And then when I got to know JD and he told me he was taking the site, and then I'm talking about a paid member, I joined again, and I'm happy I did. I think it's a very informative site, and I think you're doing a really good job, JD, and keep up the great work.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Paul and Frank, for having me on.
Thank you. And please, you're welcome to come on anytime you want, buddy. Thank you. And you're gonna be at the Rutgers game, right?
Oh yeah, and I'll also be at the Booster Club dinner beforehand. Shout out to the Seton Hall Booster Club. They do. Vince does.
Yeah, I saw you when we met at the bar before the game. Vince was hitting me up too, telling me about it. We're going to. There's a pep rally, and Frank and I and my family are going to the pep rally. I think it starts at 6, right? 6 o'clock. Yeah. Inside.
Okay. The Booster Club dinner is actually starting at 3.
At 3? Oh my God! But I can't eat that. I can't eat that much.
Yeah. Oh,
it's at Don Pepe's. Yeah.
No. Best pie I've ever had in my life.
Absolutely. Thank you, JD. Take care, buddy.
All right. Thanks. Take
All
Be
care.
good. Thank you. That was great. He's great. And when I say he's cleaned up that site, and I don't want to get into specifics, he really has. He's taken some principles that Nicole and Tom does on our site and applied them to that site. Like simple, like things that we learn in kinder, like common courtesy, treat others like you want it, all that stuff. And, and it's working. So he's doing a really good job. And if anyone's out there, it's, I would go check it out, because you do get some tidbits. And he kind of gave us one tonight, right? He gave about God's will.
Yeah. What did he say? What kind of injuries did he say?
Did you pick that up, Paul? Because I'm not. Paul's a lot smarter. Paul went to Yale. So
I didn't hear what kind of. I didn't
so.
hear what kind of injury, but he said that they were talking about redshirting it, and that means that they don't think he's going to come back in enough time. They'd rather not have him play at all and give him a whole other year.
Yeah, I didn't know if he said meniscus. I couldn't hear what he said.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever he said sounded really technical and scary.
Yeah, I know.
Let's go in, because I know we want to get to the Paul previewing the Rutgers game, but let Frankie and I talk about the women's game today. And guys, they are so close. I mean, they went down to North Carolina State, up 33-28 at the half. Everything's clicking, and then and I got to give them credit for scheduling these women's game on the road. And Bill Hathaway has it 61-53 North Carolina State. We went down to Princeton, fought them tough for 3 quarters. Same thing today, and we're like, if I'm frustrated, coach must be frustrated, because we're like right there. We're just like so close, but we just can't get to that, to that next level. And it's frustrating. I thought and again, with the women's team, like the men's team, it could be anyone's day. Mariana Valenzuela, had 10 points today. Jada Eads, who has been playing really well, 6 for 18, 16 points. Savannah, her shot was a little off, and she had 7 points today, 3 for 14 from the field. But I mean, off the bench, the player that I think is going to be really good, and again, you have to keep her. Zahara Bishop, a freshman from Minnesota, 3 for 6 at 19 minutes, 7 points. Yeah. But again, they just can't get over. They're competitive, but yet do you sense that, Frank, or is it me?
No, absolutely, and it's similar last year. And I know when you had Tony Bozzella on the show the first time in the summer, and I remember I wasn't on. I was chiming in on the side, but I was listening to him, and he expressed frustration last year how we were so close, and we needed some of those games. We needed 1 of the 3 against Creighton. We needed either that Princeton game last year, and it's similar this year. And that's why I really wanted at least 2 of 3 this week. I knew we'd get the Butler game, but one of these games, the NC State or Princeton, and it's a shame because both of them were winnable. I think we just came unraveled a bit during that Princeton game, and then today, it's just when we needed a big shot, they weren't going down, especially from the outside, and that's what hurt us.
Yeah, and Jordana Cordio had Bill Hathaway, and Bill, I don't know why you're not joining us, but he said Cordio had 16 points and 7, or Jada had 16.7 rebounds, and Cordio had 10 points and 6 rebounds. Yeah, I mean, this is a solid starting lineup. The bench, it's not quite there yet. And Christina, I so want these women to succeed. Yeah, they're a fun bunch, and they play hard. And like I said, I love Savannah Catalan. I've never met a nicer kid than her, and she plays with such heart and hustle. And she's always on the floor, and she's like the Energizer Bunny. She takes a beating, and she just keeps on going. But yeah, it's I don't know. I just it could come. We play Columbia on Tuesday, which a 6 o'clock start. So, I mean, Paul, why is it 6 o'clock start? What do you think? TV? Like, why else? Has to be TV, right?
Has to be TV.
Yeah, it's right, and thank ESPN. So the men aren't going to be on ESPN Plus as much now, right? But the women still will be.
I
Correct?
think so. We get it. We're getting into the Fox, the FS1 chunk of the season. Right, most of the Big East games are on FS1, so we probably won't be on Plus anymore
For the men,
for the men's side. Yes, the
but the
women will
for
stay
but
on Plus.
right, but and I think for the women, because now that we're doing this show, and even if I wasn't doing this show and needed to know, I like this team. I think they're just fun. So I don't know. What's your impression of the team, Frank? Before we get on to RU rah rah.
Well, I mean, I think they're pretty close. We just got to get over the hump, and next week they do have a chance. Columbia and Auburn, maybe win those two games. I mean, Columbia, they're not really a pushover. Remember, we played them a couple of years ago, NIT final, wasn't it, or semifinals? A couple of years in a row we played them, and they're usually up there towards the top of the Ivy League, and win that one, then beat Auburn, a Power 4 school. That would be nice, and then maybe we could get some of those other games that we need. Like Creighton didn't have a great start, but I think they're going to be there. Hopefully, we can finish.
Who won the Creighton St. John? Not to interrupt you, I'm sorry I do that, but Creighton St. John's. Who won that game yesterday?
Oh, the women.
The women.
Oh, I don't even know.
Paul, do you know?
No, I don't.
I was very curious.
I think Creighton won. I'm not sure, but I'll switch in a second. But just don't let me forget. I mean, before I switch over on my app here, I'm looking at the men's scores. Both North Carolina and Nebraska beat Georgetown and Creighton respectively by 20. One by 20, one by 21. But I'll track down the women's standings.
Okay, Christina tells us Creighton by 8.
Oh, thanks, Christina.
And yet Creighton was down a little bit, right? Creighton did not have a great record. So, but I said they're Creighton, right? So right. You can never take them for granted. Wow.
Yeah, they're playing they play a decent schedule, right?
Yeah. They probably play a real tough we play a tough non-conference schedule. You just gotta he's at the Bill, Bill, what do you know about tennis? Like, who's playing like, Bill, I'm sorry, I love you to death, but from Orange, New Jersey, I don't even know if there's a tennis court in Orange, New Jersey.
Well, Alcaraz is playing down there today.
Who's Alcaraz?
He's the guy from Spain.
Oh, Bill.
He was number one.
What tournament are they having down there?
It's not a tournament. I think it's just 2 exhibition matches. There was a women's and then a men's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry?
Bill's a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Next, we'll be going out to Monaco covering FS1 Formula One racing. I mean, what is it with this guy? Oh, Bill, by the way, I sent you a contact. Nicole got you a contact because I know you were moaning that NJIT wasn't giving any love and you couldn't go to cover them. And you've only been doing this for 35 years. And so we sent you a contact for NJIT. So follow up on it, okay? Now, are you rah rah? Are you rah rah? My favorite team, Seton Hall. My second favorite team is whoever's playing Rutgers. So on Saturday, I have 2 favorite teams. All in one, Seton Hall. Army, Navy, Duke, North Carolina, Yankees, Red Sox, all wrapped into one for me. Seton Hall, Rutgers. We could lose every game, and it's still a good season if we beat Rutgers. They got blown out yesterday. That is amazing. Paul, we gonna blow them out on Saturday?
So they're in something of a state of disarray right now. And it couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of people. They flew out to Las Vegas. They lost 2 out of 3. They got paid $1 million to do it, which is, a decent New Jersey deal, right? Go out to Las Vegas, play 2 games, get beat, and walk away with $1 million. Then they got beat by Michigan by 40. They lost to Purdue. Right now, they don't defend the 3 very well. And I think that that's going to be key in the game on Saturday. They don't defend it. The teams are shooting 38%. Threes are shooting 38% from behind the arc. And it's not Michigan, and it's not just Michigan and Purdue. It's Maine. Maine was 9 for 20 from behind the line against Rutgers. Maine is not well known as a famous 3-point shooting team up in the the Yankee Conference or whatever they play in. So I think that that's going to be a key. Their best player is, and let me look him up. I'm sorry, I got something in my hair. Their best player is Dylan Grant, sophomore, averaging 19 points a game, but he's had a couple of bad games in a row. Again, I think that our defense can be pretty effective at taking away their best player, and they really only have one guy who does a lot of scoring. Their defense has been somewhat suspect, not just from behind the arc. And Peichel right now seems like he's playing a bunch of different guys. If you look at who played in the first couple of games at their minutes and then who played in Michigan and Purdue, it's very different. So it doesn't look like he knows what he has yet, and it doesn't look like he knows who he wants to play yet. So this is a team that's kind of drowning a little bit. And, as we all Pirates know, when your opponent's drowning, you throw them an anchor.
I love that's oh my God, that's a home run. Your poetry teacher your poetry professor at Yale is loving you right now.
And so I think that this is a game we should win. I think what JD said before is true, that it is the ultimate trap game, because it will be a fired up opponent, a team that needs a win desperately. And it's our last game until we go into the Big East. We've got Villanova after them, I think. Let me see if it's Villanova or Providence. No, it's Providence. But we're going into the Big East schedule after that game. So I think that if the players come in with an understanding that this is a rivalry, an understanding that Rutgers is going to play like crazy, that they desperately need a win, we should be able to beat them, because I think we're better than they are. And this is the first time all season that I've said that about a Power 4 team. I think we are better than Rutgers. We should go out and beat them. They're one of the areas. Their center is a guy named Emmanuel Ogbole. He's back from last year. We've seen other centers get our centers into foul trouble. That's an area of concern. We don't shoot the three particularly well. I'd be a little bit afraid that if we fall in love with the three and end up throwing up a bunch that aren't necessarily good shots, that could be an issue. But you look at Rutgers' defensive statistics, they don't do anything particularly well. And they don't block shots, they don't make a lot of steals, they don't hold teams to a low shooting percentage. They just go out and play. And I don't, it was weird to see how quickly Michigan demolished them. I mean, they didn't even put up a fight. And one of the things that we've always said about Steve Peichel's team is that they are going to scratch and claw and fight. And I didn't see that in the Michigan game. And I didn't have a chance to watch the Purdue game, so I don't really know what else. Anyway, that's my take. That's my guess. I would expect that we'll be favored. And I would expect that this is the kind of game that if this is a very good prep for the Big East, because if we're as good as we think we are, there's going to be Big East games that we are supposed to win against opponents that are going to play like crazy. So this will be a good test for us at home against a desperate opponent that wants to beat us, that we should beat.
Paul, do you have disdain for Rutgers? Do you really dislike them? Because I know. Look, again, I'm gonna say I love you, but you weren't born with this, and like Frank and I were. This is kind of like the Hatfields and the McCoys. You know what I mean to me? And
I don't. I don't like their fans.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it's hard to like a team. It's hard to like a team when you don't like their fans. I went to a Rutgers football game, and it was an 8-year-old kid screaming obscenities at the other team, and they were playing Navy. Like, how do you scream obscene. It's the Navy, I know you want to beat
And
them.
people whose responsibility is to like protect you, and you're screaming at them, right?
Yeah, you're screaming, and it's a 10-year-old kid too. So somebody ought to say, "Come on, kid, you're screaming at the Navy." And I grew up in Connecticut, and I saw UConn do this, so I'm familiar with when state suddenly becomes the big story, and people who don't really know that a basketball is round come out of the woodwork with their gear to cheer for something that they don't understand. So I suppose that's my disdain for Rutgers. And I live, by the way, in Somerset, like a couple of doors down from New Brunswick. So I'm probably gonna have somebody's gonna come and egg my house tonight. But burn a big R in the lawn or something like that.
Nick Jr. said yesterday, and Mike Pilardi's on, and Michael Pilardi said the only school I hate more than Rutgers is Michigan. I know because they cheated us for a national champion, but I still hate Rutgers more, Mike. I don't like Michigan much, but I hate Rutgers more. But Nick said that normally, in a game, how many games, Paul, is Seton Hall going to – Paul, that was yesterday's question, Bill. Day late and a dollar short. Go back to your tennis. And Paul, and Bill, in tennis, you can't cheer. You can't cheer for somebody. You can only cheer for the point. Like, I cannot see Bill at a tennis match. Like, no disrespect. I can see myself at a tennis match, but Bill's not going to dress in a tennis romper and go watch a tennis match. I'm sorry. But anyway, so my son said normally it would be 75-25, 65-35, Seton Hall. What do you think it's going to be tomorrow, Saturday, Frank? What percentage?
It's funny you ask. I was just discussing that with my kids and my wife. And I'm thinking 80-20. Maybe even a little higher. Could be even 85-15. I think Rutgers fans, I don't think they're looking forward to this game. Maybe
you got to be a diehard Rutgers fan to come to this game, right? Because
Exactly.
you suck. I mean, let's be honest, right?
It was almost like us going down there last year. We did have some representation, but not as much as we.
My friend, a couple of my friends were there. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. No, and I saw some people. There were some people that were right behind the bench. I think they won Mike Walsh's contest, and they wound up getting the seats right behind it. And I was so happy to see those people there. And we put up a good fight down there, but they were more energized because they had they had two great freshmen. They were supposed to be very good last year. I think this year the hype wasn't there to begin with. And they don't seem like they have much going on right now. And I don't think they're all that thrilled with
Paul, who else has two people that are first round draft picks, right? And they don't make the tournament. Has that ever happened before? That has lottery picks. Like, come on.
Unbelievable. Well, listen, I'm going to have to leave. The one thought I would like to leave you guys with is this is the kind of game that can energize, in my mind, the Seton Hall fan base. Right. The diehards like Nick and Frank and have been watching since they threw the ball up. But all of a sudden, Seton Hall is 8-1. They're playing against Rutgers. It's the kind of game that draws interest from people who are not diehards. And if this is a game that the Hall goes out and wins convincingly, that might be something that becomes a catalyst for the fans, for the students, and for the people in New Jersey. It's like, hey, Seton Hall's back, and this was their coming out party. So I hope to see that we see a solid game. I hope that we see everything we've seen so far. We see Clark distribute the ball. We see Satin McRae shoot. We see Hines make his inside moves. And I really believe that if Seton Hall does what Seton Hall has been doing, they'll win the game. With that, I'm going to leave, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
All right, Paul. Have a great night.
Paul, there's not another gentleman that I know that can follow you, Paul, but there is someone, the Queen of Bayonne, New Jersey, often imitated. There she goes. She's not at the Borgata. She's in her man cave. You're in your father's man cave?
Yes, sir.
She's in her father's man cave. And Nicole, perfect segue, because Frank and I were talking, and Jerry Carino and others, and somebody I'm not gonna that Frank just aforementioned, I'm not gonna say his name, they've been really down on the students this year. And I think that's like so unfair because when you look at the arena, it's like there's empty seats everywhere, and it's not
Yeah.
fair to pick on it, right? Like, why pick out a certain? I'm not for picking on anybody, but why pick out on the students when everyone's not going? Having
Yeah.
said that, Carino said, what did he say, Frank? The tickets weren't picked up or something?
Yeah, the students weren't claiming their tickets. That's why I brought that up on the group chat earlier today. And I didn't know if maybe your sister gave you some insight as to what's going on down there. And if people are truly not picking up the tickets, is there a reason why? Are they still in the middle of finals? I think they don't get done with final exams until 2 days after
Yeah.
this game, right? Or
You know, it's a good question because the last time I think Seton Hall sold out of student season tickets was my freshman year. Sophomore year and junior year, there was no student ticket because of COVID. And then senior year, packed. Then last year, or it was either last year or the year before, that's when the student section started to dwindle. I don't know personally. I think that, like how I was saying early on, I wanted to gain. No, I don't know how to explain it. I know that the team was terrible last year, and it's not a reflection on this current team, but I did not want to get my hopes up because you don't know how it's going to look. So maybe there was hesitancy from students not wanting to get the season ticket and not being able to, go to every game or be able to transfer it to people who would be interested in going. Um, Another thing that could have been a factor is are they still selling student tickets in season, like a student season package, given it's almost halfway through the season already?
Well, let me ask you this. When they say unclaimed, that means students that haven't bought the package?
I don't know because they do sell single tickets as well for $15 through the Pirate app. So I don't know. I honestly don't know the percentage of student season tickets sold this season.
Because I did hear that they're going to try to feed them. And I did hear that they're going to have like a T-shirt or some type of giveaway. So, I mean, I don't know.
You have to entice them to go, essentially.
Yeah, and then once we win, they'll come on their own, right? And then when it's big games, but as a student, do you get, or as a former student recently graduated, and you didn't grow up in this like Christina did, so I'm not going to ask her this question. Did you sense the rivalry with Rutgers? Was it different? Like, do you not like Rutgers, Nicole?
Oh, I can't stand Rutgers.
Okay, okay. I love you. Oh my God.
Nick, I didn't even apply to Rutgers.
So you hated Rutgers. Okay.
My dad would have never let me step foot on that campus. Never.
Come on, really?
Yes. He personally, I did not think it was safe.
Really?
Yeah. And plus, if you're comparing the schools, not even the basketball programs, I don't think I would have been known individually by my professors had I gone. If I did go to apply and go to Rutgers.
You do get that in Seton Hall. I know Nick had that too. You build up relationships with your professors.
Yeah, I think that's
you
like
stay friends with them, and that's so important.
Yeah, I don't think I would have gotten the individualized attention or accomplished what I have accomplished at Seton Hall had I gone somewhere else.
I know you go gambling a lot, and I would be a horrible poker player because I wear my emotions on my sleeve. And I got to tell you a quick story, and I'm not going to mention his name. There was a player from Seton Hall that was trying to transfer, and he was at my house, and he'd gone on a couple of trips, and he made his decision, and I came in the living room, and he's like, Papa Nick, I decided where I was going, and I'm like, okay, and he said Rutgers, and I couldn't hide it. I just couldn't hide it, and he knew it, and I wanted to be encouraging. I wanted to be positive, and I couldn't be. Like, I felt so bad, but that's me,
It's funny. I'm probably one of the only, my sister and I should say, are probably two of the only people in the entire state who did not apply to Rutgers.
I applied to Rutgers Newark.
Yeah, I didn't apply whatsoever to Rutgers.
Frank, did you apply to Rutgers?
I did not, but my oldest son, Nicholas, did.
Did
And
Nicholas go to Rutgers?
no, he went
Okay,
to
go, Nicole.
he went to Quinnipiac. He went down to Rutgers, and he said he didn't like the fact that it was so big.
Yeah, that's
then-
why I didn't like it either.
And then he didn't like Seton Hall because it was too small and too urban, although he loves Seton Hall basketball. He fell in love, though, with that Quinnipiac campus. And too bad Paul and I have talked about this before.
Plus, I also think that Quinnipiac's hockey team is significantly better than Seton Hall's.
Well, we don't even have a hockey team, but yeah, you're right. They have a real bona fide D1 hockey team that won it all up there.
Wait, Seton Hall has a club team, right? I saw something on the wall. Right? Is that a real? Nicole, you ever go to a hockey game? They're at South Mountain Arena, right?
No,
you
I
never went to a Seton Hall hockey game?
Well, the first 2 years, they sucked. They only won 2 games the whole season.
Wait. So if a team's bad, you don't go watch them if they're your team?
Not really. Why would I waste my money on that?
Fair weather fan?
Honestly, I never went. Like, I always told myself as a high school student, I'd go to the Seton Hall games, but I didn't really know anyone on the hockey team, and I didn't just want to, go. I mean, it was club hockey. It wasn't really. It's not D1. There's a
right, but it's hockey, and no.
No. I don't know. It's just it's not the same.
Some schools do eat that up. North Carolina State, they just played each other, and they have club teams. And they were down in Raleigh and had about 10,000 people there for a club game. But you won't see that around here. They're lucky they get 100 people at those games. So it's not like it's a big draw, and it's not right on campus either. That's
the other thing. It's not in walking distance from Seton Hall. So
no, not at all. And the games are probably at midnight because ice time's hard to get, right? So yeah. So Nicole,
Columbia plays at the Ice House down in Hackensack over here. I don't know if they still do, but they did. And yeah, their games are at 11 p.m. You would see
that's insane. That's totally insane. Nicole, Bill says hi.
Hi, Bill.
He still wants to meet you. I mean, he doesn't know if you're 100% real or not.
I mean, I could provide you a copy of my birth certificate.
No. We're not getting. This isn't a birther thing or anything like that. No. We don't need to see anybody's birth certificate. But I think Bill kind of just wants. I think he characterized us as a family. And I guess you're a member of the family that he hasn't met yet. So he keeps going, and then Luigi. And I'm like, you're never going to meet him. He's all over the country. You'll never meet Luigi.
I think it's a lot harder for me to go to games, specifically now that I'm working full time, and pretty much I'm working almost 50 hours a week. Plus, trying to balance personal responsibilities outside of work and stuff.
Sure.
We talked about possibly going to a game maybe in the new year. Not too sure which one or anything, but if we do, I'll let you know. But
and Nicole, I've said this before, but you're kind of the face of this group.
I know.
And I know.
know
that. I'm not making it. I'm not teasing. I am in a way, but it's true. She knows it. Even JD, who was on before, be nice to Nicole. Of course I'm nice to Nicole.
It's so funny when I went to alumni reunion weekend after the Many Are One gala. No joke, I had maybe 10 alums approach me that I never met before, but they're like, "Are you Nicole from the Facebook page?"
Yeah.
It's like that I am.
Yeah, no, it happened to Bobby and I the other day. It was just it's on a very minor scale, but in this community, people do we get 4,000, 3,000 views. So someone's watching this show, okay, and they see us. And they know us, but we don't know them. And it's interesting.
Crazy too, because remember, it to me too. Christina,
it happened to me. Yeah, see?
It's funny because going into college, I didn't care about basketball at all. Never really watched any games, nothing.
Well, they didn't have a team at your high school, right?
No, I went to an all-girls school.
Well, you could have a team at an all-girls school.
Yeah, they did have a team, but like I just wasn't interested in basketball at all. Like I never watched it. I never watched it.
You didn't play like biddy ball, nothing like that.
No, the sports I played when I was a kid were soccer and dance and ice skating, gymnastics.
Okay.
Those were my sports. But I never paid attention to NBA. I never paid attention to college anything. It wasn't until I was starting to look at schools and I was trying to find something on TV to watch, and I saw Seton Hall pop up on the screen. It was Miles Powell, Romero Gill, Miles Kale, all those guys playing. I don't even remember who the heck they were playing. But seeing how good they were, that kind of tipped the scale a little bit for when I was deciding where to go. Because, hey, I need something to enjoy while I'm there if there's no football team. And, you know, I didn't really know a lot about basketball at that point. I don't even remember why I joined this Facebook group to begin with. I just thought it was a great place to network with alums and, you know, fellow people that are watching the games. Like, I didn't know anything about these game threads at first. I had just made one comment about how Providence, I think it was, stormed the court early before the game ended. And I commented that they shouldn't have done that. And that's what started me getting involved. And hey, as a freshman, if you would have told me then, I would have become the youngest and only female admin on this Facebook page, I would tell you that you're crazy.
And Nicole, when I tell you, and we kid around, but like you're the boss of this thing. Like when I talk to Eccles is like, yeah, all decisions are Nicole. Like, of course you're fair, you let us all contribute. But he's like, this is Nicole's thing. And I'm like, I know.
It's just crazy because I never would have imagined it to be that way.
I know. And it's working. And you know, and you're very good at it. So yeah, you put and you're like a recruiter. You shot. You do. No, you are. You like went out and got Nick Morgan. You went out and got Chris Jones. Me, you know, not Eli so much, but Bobby. I mean, it's like, you just put a good, you know how pieces fit.
I mean, it also helps that after I graduated, my sister followed in my footsteps and went to Seton Hall. So she kind of knew who was like the sporty people to, you know, who may be interested in doing something like this and, you know, possibly helping strengthen their possible career journeys. So having her there kind of helped because it was able to bridge that introduction.
Yeah. We need one more kid. We need one more student. We need a student. I don't know who. You would know better than me. I talked to Morales, but he's got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, so, he's probably
one more. I think Lauren's a little camera shy. So one more.
I'll see what your sister knows. She probably knows a couple sport people.
Anybody does a Stack Monster come on here? Nicole, address.
He does. Not as frequently as the rest of us, but sometimes he does, especially post games. The post game shows, he's pretty much 99% of the time joining in and doing something crazy.
Mike, we gave him the greatest bit. St. John's last year. Bobby and I planned this out. We gave him his phone. We got him access to the student section. We told them that this crazy man's going to be walking around doing man in the stands interview, and he was going to go interview people for about 10 minutes and ask them what they thought about Kadari returning. Tremendous bit. Except, Nicole, what was wrong with that one bit?
Oh, there was no sound coming out.
He forgot to turn on his microphone. Bobby's having a conniption, screaming, "Turn on your microphone!" It was like, oh my God, we bust that man to this day. That like he's interviewing people without his microphone on. No one knows what they're talking about. But Stack Monster does come on here, and he actually was very knowledgeable. He came on after the Felton injury, right, and explained it. He explained his rehab. Because he's a physical therapist.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Bill Hathaway wants to know if Nicole is real. Yes, Nicole is real, Bill. And then where's Scoop? I know you are real. Okay, where's Scoop? I don't know where Scoop is. He can be anywhere in the country.
He said he might come on.
So what state does Scoop file his tax return in? Like, what's his state of residence? Mississippi?
Mississippi.
He's a Mississippi resident.
Yeah.
Where is he now? What hotel is he at?
He's in the Venetian at Vegas.
Oh, he's at Vegas. Okay.
Yeah.
What's he in Vegas for?
He went to see the Zach Brown band at the Sphere.
Okay.
It was from what I understand, it was a late birthday thing.
It's his birthday?
His birthday was in August, but I think this concert was now. So
He got treated.
was
He
the-
got treated. So
this
he
was
got
the birthday
treated to
trip.
this. Why, Christina, I'm so jealous of him. Christina, you're a Zach Brown fan? I don't even know who the hell Zach Brown is. Was he the guy that Bruce came on stage with at MetLife?
I have no idea.
Bruce,
I think I heard that. Even though I'm
was
not
that
a big
Zach Brown that
Brown
Bruce
fan,
came on with?
I think he did. I think he might have. You might be right. I think I
Wait,
heard that.
No, that's Mr. Bryan.
Oh,
Brian
Bryan?
who?
Okay.
Zach Bryan. Okay.
Oh, Zach Bryan.
Scoop is currently at the sports book.
He's at the sports book?
Yes, he is.
Wow.
He said he might come on a little sooner.
Wait, he's gonna come on tonight?
He's either going to come on live or he's going to join in the comments.
Well, we
You
don't
gotta
have
get
that much
something
longer.
situated.
Yeah, I
But,
know.
but Christina, hop on because I want to touch something right now. I want to get on a subject, and I think you guys know what it's about.
Taylor.
Yeah, Christina.
Well, you can't put me on without giving
All right, I
me
gave
the
you a warning.
warning.
So here's the thing, and I heard Boomer, and you said it was only a rumor, but I heard Boomer and Gio talking about this. It was in the New York Post that Taylor Swift wanted her place wedding on June 13th, right? Because she's a nut and those numbers lined up. And she wanted it at the specific venue, except a bride had already booked it. So then Miss Swift tried to bribe the bride.
Let me tell you something. If Taylor Swift or even a random person said, you know what, I want your wedding date, I'll pay for your wedding. Sure, have at it.
No, because then you're not getting
100%.
married for another 6 months.
Doesn't matter. I would have so much more money in my pocket.
No, that's your wedding date.
Doesn't matter.
You would, Nicole, would you let Taylor Swift bribe you for your wedding date?
If she paid for my whole wedding, I may have to consider that.
But you sent out, okay, save the dates, and Aunt Esther got to save the date, and everyone's booking airfare and hotel rooms.
Aunt Esther would get another save the date that said, sorry, we moved it. Easily.
And did this happen?
I think it might have because I'm seeing a lot more reports on it.
There's rumor this started like a few weeks ago, and now it seems to be gaining more traction. I mean, I don't know.
The Kelseys were talking about it.
Yeah, but like the whole security thing, like, would she really telegraph this? Like, I don't know.
I mean, initially, she allegedly only wanted a small number of people at her wedding, so that she was just going to have it at her house in Rhode Island. But apparently, there's more people that she wants to invite than she initially thought, so she wanted to get a venue. The venue she wanted, another bride had already booked that date. But I think it's a little interesting how she wants to be a 2026 bride. She doesn't want to wait a full 2 years like most brides do to plan
double
everything
13 is 26,
Yeah.
right? So if you're doing like
Oh,
numerology,
come on. Wait a minute. What's this?
13 plus 13 is 26. So
Is she
6,
really that
13
nuts?
Yes.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, so that makes sense. But I could see how for that other bride it might cause some logistical things, but hopefully the venue works with her to figure out
I would
another
do it
date.
in a flippin' heartbeat.
Frank, do you care to comment on this?
I actually did hear about it. Somebody sent a text in a group thread, and I'm like, all right, well, I could see Taylor Swift doing that, and I would love it if she paid for one of my kids' weddings and they had to switch the date, because I don't know. My oldest son is probably the only one that could possibly get married within the next 3 to 5 years, and I have a feeling they're not going to be able to pay for the whole wedding. And if Taylor Swift wanted to pay for it, yeah, be my guest.
Wait, Jessica Lynn Yard. Christina, read what Jessica Lynn Yard writes.
It's all fake news to throw everyone off from the real date and venue. I mean, it could be.
It's possible.
Could be.
And Mike Pilardi said that he would take the bribe.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if I could have anything in the world for my dream wedding at no budget, I would take it.
Wait, but it all depends how much she would like. So you put a deposit down, right?
I bet you she would probably give you a lot of money.
She'll
Pay for your
for
entire wedding easily.
And plus, you get your money back that you already deposited at the venue.
Yep.
She might even pay for Aunt Esther to transfer her or redo her plane tickets too.
But here's where it gets crazy, because I was through this with one daughter and now I have another. You got your help me, Christina. You got your DJ. You got your flowers. All this stuff.
But when money is not an option, those things can easily be moved.
Yeah. Yeah.
She'd cover the deposit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she would, if she really wanted this to happen, she would pay for it.
Yeah.
And then another thing that my podcast was bringing up. So if you're Taylor Swift and you're inviting people to your wedding, are you paying for their flights? Are you flying them in yourself? Are you paying for their hotel? Like, she's just got so much money that I'm sure all of it is just being covered.
Yeah.
Well, Nicole, if you were a really good friend, and I know you are, you should send Miss Swift Blackjack Bobby Guarente's business card for DJing.
Oh,
I'm telling you, because he is as good as that. Okay, I'm not going to get into the DJ.
He's very difficult to get in touch with. You can't comment on her photos. Her messages are locked. Everything is under a lock and key.
But she has a company. She has people.
Yeah, but the chances of that recommendation getting all the way to her with all those people in the way is slim to none. Unless
my wife was doing a fundraiser for Milburn softball once.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know who the most famous softball player to ever play at Milburn High School was? Famous actress.
Princess Diaries, Nicole.
Princess Diaries.
Oh, Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. And Anne Hathaway was the starting catcher for Milburn High School.
Wait, she's from New Jersey?
Yes.
Did not know that. Wow.
Because she says she's from New York.
She she doesn't admit it, but she lived on. She grew up, I think, on Elm Street in Milburn, right, Christina?
Linden.
She was a good player.
Close. Linden Street in Milburn.
She was a good player.
Well, the pitcher would say that good thing she went into acting, but she was a starting catcher. So anyway, Annette's trying to do this fundraiser and is like, ahead of St. John's with the vitamin water guy, and says, well, let me just get 10K from Taylor, what's her name? Anne Hathaway, and called her management company, spoke to the management company, but nothing ever came of it. But so my point being is, people like that have people.
Yeah.
So can we get them Blackjack Bobby Guarente's business card? And what's Bobby's DJ name?
Blackjack?
Do we even know?
I have no clue, honestly.
We only known the guy. Like, he's our bet. Like, he's doing a party tonight. Like,
I don't know. Like, I mean, she's like the most famous person in the world. It is extremely difficult to try to get anything
right. But whether you're Christina Romano or Taylor Swift, you still need someone to do your flowers, right?
Yeah.
And you need someone to do your makeup, and you need all this stuff, and you need people and photographers, and you need people who specialize in weddings, right? Because they know how to do it. Like, you just can't hire like anybody.
Yeah.
So
difference is my wallet is a little more shallow than hers.
Yeah.
So, she's got deeper pockets.
Yeah, but it's still the same. I don't know. Like if you get a really good photographer or videographer, like it doesn't matter if he's doing you, Nicole, or Taylor, right? He's still good.
If I had more money, though, I could get so much more for it. Like, my flowers are going to be nothing in comparison to what millions of dollars of flowers could cost.
Well, we don't even know. Like, Nicole said she didn't want a big wedding, though, right?
Initially, she didn't, but it's looking like it's going to become the new royal wedding.
Mike, don't no, Christina, talk to Mike. Read that.
I love DJ.
I love DJ too, but Seton Hall doesn't love DJ.
No, he got
Yeah, Seton
replaced.
Hall DJ is no longer the Seton Hall DJ, and I don't want to be controversial, and I don't know what happened, but DJ Khalid from Hot 97.
It's not DJ Khaled, it's DJ Walla, but that's fine.
And where's he from, DJ Walla?
I couldn't tell you.
They're trying to get more student-oriented music, I get, but I love DJ to DJ. Absolutely. I think he was a finalist for Christina's DJ.
Seton Hall's, no, not Seton Hall. The Devil's DJ is TJ the DJ. He
So
does
if
a
you
lot
want
of
your kid to be a DJ, you have to give their middle name John, James, or they have to be a junior.
No,
Yeah.
DJ does really well. Millburn's own DJ to DJ. Whenever we do an event, my wife does an event. She would always make sure they got a DJ to DJ. Where's Scoopers?
Scoopers, where the heck are you?
He said he's at Sportsbook. He's got more important things to do.
He
Well,
didn't
said he had
prepare,
something
right?
to wrap up, but he said he'd try. But
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna. I mean, I don't know. So Frank, you're going on Saturday.
Yeah. Now, the party or the pep rally, I tried to go on there and sign up. So what did you do, Nick? You already have.
Oh, Christina did it.
He didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything.
What do you do when you have season tickets? I mean,
You don't buy a ticket. You don't buy a ticket.
But it prompted me to, before I could go any further, it said, "What kind of ticket do you need?" And
I think they mean admission to the pregame. So it's like, because there's different prices. So if you're young alumni, which I'm not, it's cheaper than if you were regular alumni or a parent of alumni.
Oh, so the party is what costs $60, not
Correct.
a ticket.
Yeah, you
Correct.
need you need to have a ticket already regardless to get in.
Okay, so for my kids who don't have tickets, they would have to buy a ticket
To the game.
Yeah. So if they bought it through the Alumni Association, they'd have to spend $60 for a ticket, and then
Well,
either
$60 to
50 or
get into the party, and then they have to get a ticket.
Yeah, and the tickets through that site were $60 as well.
Oh, to the game.
Yeah, I think there's a way to, if you don't already have a ticket, there's an option where it will bundle it.
Okay.
I don't know for sure though. I haven't.
But I also wasn't looking.
Yeah.
I sent an email to I don't know if you remember her or you know her, but she was at the Bar A event. Her name was Daryl.
Yes.
Yeah, I sent her an email this afternoon, so I'll probably talk to her tomorrow.
The first 50 people get an exclusive sweatshirt.
What shirt? Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? To show up
All right.
or to
But
sign up?
people get there early.
Yeah, first 50
hopefully it
people,
won't be
yeah.
cold. So we had talked, Frank, was it you yesterday that brought up Bill Murray? Who brought up Bill Murray?
Yeah, I did because I brought up Luke Murray, his son, who's one of the assistants at UConn, and they were saying how he's not going to leave, or it wouldn't make sense for him to leave, make much less at a mid-major when they're paying him very well up there at UConn just to be an assistant.
So I'm going to tell a story that's a true story. It's why I think Bill Murray is a horrible actor, despicable human being. So his son is an assistant at Xavier, and we are playing them in the Big East tournament. And Mike knows this. Dean Dehan from over at the nursing school, very good friend of ours, Teresa Dehan, she is in some lounge, and Bill Murray comes walking in because his son's doing the game. And she says, "Hi, Mr. Murray. I'm a fan. Can I have a picture?" And he goes, "The proper terminology is, may you have a picture?" And she said, "Well, bleep you then, Bill Murray, and I hope you guys get killed tonight." So I am not a fan of Bill Murray in any way, shape, or form. True story. Pompous jerk.
Wow.
Tell him, what was the last movie he was actually in? Nicole, do you know who Bill Murray is?
Yeah, I remember I posted a hype post last season.
Name one Bill Murray movie.
I can't name the movie, but I know that a lot of people were giving me hell for posting a hype post of a fan with Bill Murray, and it's like, he's not a pirate.
That's right.
I had no idea. It was
have you ever heard of Caddyshack?
No.
Have you ever heard of Meatballs?
No.
He wasn't Meatballs, right? Yeah.
What about Stripes?
Stripes. You ever hear of Stripes?
No.
Wow.
I watched Face Off yesterday, though. It was so good.
Yeah, you sent that text during the game. You weren't watching the game?
No. Well, I was. Well, we had started the movie earlier, and then the game was just about like halfway through before halftime. So after that end, like it was just too good. I couldn't like shut it off with all the cliffhangers and stuff. I really enjoyed it though. And then we watched the rest of the Seton Hall game.
Anything else you guys want to chat about? No.
I don't know.
All right. And
No.
we and Scoops is blowing us off yet again. Bill, any report on that soccer match or tennis match? Bill,
Yeah,
anything? I'm going to see
National
Bill. I'm
Center
going to see
into a
Bill
tennis
tomorrow
match.
night at a
Cool.
cocktail party. Groundhog's Day. Mike,
I've seen Groundhog Day.
Mike, Nicole has no idea. Nicole didn't know who Mick Jagger was.
Well, I mean, I couldn't tell off the poster. I know who he is, but not visually.
Nicole did not know who Elvis Presley was, and I'm not. And I love Nicole. Nicole knows I love her, but
I didn't know. I didn't know till 2 months ago that Sting was the lead singer of the Police.
Okay. But yet she knows who her Dee Snider is, right?
Yes.
That's your music. That's your genre. So anyway, Bill, what's going on with the tennis? Are you out there, Bill? Bill's sipping Perrier in the and whatever he's doing, oh my God. I still want to know how Bill can't get credentials for NJIT basketball, but he gets credentials for like the #1 tennis player in the world. Go figure. Love. I'm going to see Bill at an event tomorrow night. Bill, they'll only let you in if you bring an unwrapped toy. So go buy an unwrapped toy, and then you can get into the event. So
You could just run into TJ Maxx and grab one.
you could run into TJ Maxx and get an unwrapped toy. That's right. Get something nice though. All right. Wait, who's that? A big crowd at the party.
I'm not surprised though. I mean, who's the Jersey girl who almost won Wimbledon?
Well, who's this person he's talking about now?
I have no idea.
TFO?
We only know Amanda Anisimova because she almost won the U.S. Open. She
Nicole,
will.
you seem like the type who would go to the U.S. Open.
We want to. One day.
Did you?
No, not
I've
yet.
never. Frank, have you been to the U.S. Open?
No, my oldest son has gone. He just went this year. And my wife used to go a lot when she was a kid, she said, with her parents. But
Yeah, I've never.
I had never.
Yeah, it's not.
I used to go when they had it in Mawa, where I was from, when they used to play.
Oh, that was a big tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a warm up for the U.S. Open for the women's side. But no, I had never been over there to the U.S. Tennis Center except.
Looks like fun though.
Tennis is the only sport where people dress up like tennis players to go to tennis. I don't get that, but whatever. All right. So we got Bill. Bill's giving us Bill's gonna be a late night for Bill. What do we got now? Amanda.
Oh,
Who's Amanda? Who's Jessica?
Amanda Anisimova. She almost won the U.S. Open a couple months ago.
And she lost.
She's from New Jersey.
But this isn't a tournament.
No, it's just.
No, this is like an exhibition type thing.
Wow. Cool. All right. And we don't know where Scoop is.
No, he's MIA.
He's at the sports book. He said he had something to take care of.
All right, Frankie, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I guess, it should be a fun week getting ready for Rutgers. It should be, a lot of looking forward to that game. And what the women play which night?
Tuesday, 6:00.
It's Tuesday. Okay. And then their Auburn game is when?
I don't know. I know the men are Saturday. I don't know when the next women's game is after Tuesday.
All
Hold on,
right,
I can check real quick.
and then we have other Big East games that hopefully, the Big East teams could, win this week. Today was a tough day after, seeing that we lost Creighton getting blown out by Nebraska and Georgetown by North Carolina. You don't want to see that. But what do you think, Nick? Based on our body of work so far from the Big East as a whole, how many teams do we get in?
I'm gonna 12-14 versus Auburn. You got to say UConn's a definite. St. John's is ranked, but I don't know. And I think the question goes back to how many Big East wins are we going to get? And the number keeps going up, right? Like Junior
even if it's not us, I'm just wondering, how many do you think? Do you think they go with 3? What, 2 years ago it was 3. We got left out. Last year it was 5.
Yeah, 2 years ago I forgot the name. I didn't like the seating committee at all. I mean, we're not having a lot of good non-conference wins. So we know it's going to be the team that wins the regular season, and it's going to be the team that wins the tournament. So it's going to be 2. And could it be a third? Yeah, it could be a third. More than that, right now, I would say no. I'm going to say we're up to 12 wins in the Big East. I just sense that 12 wins from what I'm seeing. I could be totally wrong. Nick Jr. said anywhere 7 to 13, 13 being high. I'm at 12 right now.
I was thinking, I know I said it yesterday, I think 13 is realistic.
13 and we're in the tournament.
I would hope so. But then that gets to part B of my question. So 13 and 7 would get us to what?
If we beat Rutgers, 23.
Maybe third or fourth place, 13 and 7 in the Big East. So if we come in fourth, is 13 and 7 going to be good enough? That's what I don't know.
If we're 13 and 7 and 23 and 8, I would say that's good enough.
Okay.
I would say if it's not, we got screwed again.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Also, before the Seton Hall Auburn game, girls are playing Columbia on Tuesday.
Yeah, Are you going Tuesday, Nicole? No. It's 6 o'clock.
I got work.
What time is this Auburn game?
Auburn game on the 14th is at 1 o'clock.
I'm going. Frank, you can go to that game?
That's next Sunday.
That's next Sunday.
Okay. I mean, I don't know yet. I didn't even look at what's going on. I know I'm going to be, down in the Prudential Center on Saturday night, so I didn't even think about that yet. But
I think I'm gonna go to both. And do you guys like the concept of a show on Sunday night, because I know we were trying to get a regular night, and it seems like the only way that we won't have a game is we'll do the post game show and then a show on Sunday night.
For me, it all depends. I mean, a lot of times I have to do something with, one of the kids or my wife. This weekend was perfect for me, where I had some free times and I was able to jump in both nights. So, and if you guys ever need help, I always try to make it a point to go on and help.
Yeah, and I think we're deep enough that we could probably do it. But trying to schedule a weekday for this is just not going to work, because there's always going to be a post-game show or a women's game.
Yeah.
Yeah, with what's going on now that we're in season, it's a lot different than the summer
because I know Paul likes to. I know Paul enjoyed our show yesterday, Nick from Milburn. But I know he likes this show because we get to talk about more things than just the game that we. So and I like both, and I think it's good, and we got 1,000 views already on yesterday. So yeah, everything's good.
It just
I'll give my final thoughts because Nicole goes last.
Yeah, I think it just depends though, on everyone's schedules and stuff, because not everyone is always available that same night.
No, I know, and that's why I'm glad that we're deep.
Yeah.
So if we could get at least 3, we should, even if it's not me, we should do it, because I think the audience likes that consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Final thoughts are just great time to be a Pirates. Looking forward to Saturday. Looking forward to the pregame show. Meeting Frank in person, because then I could say Frank is real. The Bill Hathaway litmus test. You're not real unless he meets.
Nicole, that time we were at Mercado Pie, Nick was on the other side of the restaurant, remember? When I was there with you, my son Nicholas, Vern.
I think I introduced myself to Nick.
Yeah.
I came over and took a picture.
I think so. I think
My
so.
son-
I think you were at
my son and I think
It was
Vernon
either you.
I went into the arena
It was
already.
either no, I think it was Glenn who was at the bar.
Yes.
Oh, Glenn at the
Glenn was
bar,
at the
big
bar.
shock.
You guys found Nick and Glenn after that,
Yeah.
but we were there at the same time. I just missed
Yeah.
it. We were on the opposite
I
side.
can't. I remember like meeting Nicole and Bobby at the same time and taking a picture. I don't know. You might have been in a pic. I don't. Whoever was at that
I
table.
wasn't
I
in
don't
the
have the
picture.
photo though. I don't know
Yeah.
where. I don't know who took it.
I wasn't in the picture.
And Mercado, I got to tell you, twice, and this never happened to me before. We went there, we ordered, we waited an hour, didn't get our food, and left
Well, now
because
they
you had to
don't
make
exist.
the game. It's ridiculous.
Now they don't exist.
Now they don't exist anymore, and they had good pizza.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
have pretty good
They
pizza.
just didn't know how to manage a restaurant next to an arena.
Yeah.
All right. So final thoughts. Go Pirates. I look forward to Rutgers. Again, it's one of the highlights of my year. Great show. Love working with you guys. Nicole, wrap it up and make Tom Eccles and Patrick Min proud.
Well, it is indeed a good time to be a Pirate. It's great to not be in such a slump like we were last season, and it's amazing to see all the interactions and posts that we're getting on the group. Keep it up. The more interactions, the better. Just make sure you stay cordial with one another. And to wrap up, beat Rutgers.
Beat Rutgers. Are you rah rah? Night, everyone.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night. Good night. Christina, you there? Good night. Christina, log us off. Good night.
Thanks, Christina.
Thanks.